I saw a clip of Deshaun Watson this morning. He was with fans signing at training camp. It was very interesting to just see because obviously this ruling just came out yesterday. And yesterday on First Take, Channing Crowder said that he's going to have to go in the locker room and explain to his guys in order to get the trust of the locker room. He's going to have to explain what exactly went down. I'm curious for you guys, and Neek, we can start with you. What impact do you think that this has on the locker room?
I'd be completely honest with you. I don't think it has much impact at all. If anything, it has a galvanizing impact. And I know that's not what we want to hear or that's not what we want to say. But what tends to happen in my experience in the locker room is you rally around guys who wear your same color uniform. The same way you see those fans clamoring for autographs from Deshaun Watson and kind of putting aside any other things that they may believe about him. I think the same thing happens in the locker room. And football players are very focused on their own outcomes. It does not help them to take some moral stand in the locker room against that particular player. It helps them to play well on Sundays, and I think that's where their focus would be. But Christine, before we go to somebody else, I did want to bring up the point about the fines in the previous. That's one thing that I think that they have kind of circumvented, and I know they do this, the Browns do this normally as they kind of backload their contracts, but they have kind of circumvented this fine process for Deshaun Watson. So the like monetary penalty from this, and again, there is no number that takes away the actions that Judge Robertson said are more likely to have occurred than didn't, but it does feel like that's an area where the NFL has some ground to stand on and being disappointed that Judge Robinson allowed them to just stick with the salary loss for the first 6 games and not go with any fine above what he's going to lose there.
Woody?
Yeah, listen, I agree with Dominique. You know, from a player's perspective, and I think guys can speak on this, we're in the mindset you control the things that you can control. And the players don't control whether Deshaun Watson is a teammate or not. That's the situation. It is what it is. He's going to be a part of the Cleveland Browns organization. So as a player, you're thinking about, well, who gives us the best chance to win football games? Because ultimately, that's what it comes down to. This is locker rooms aren't filled with choir boys. There are guys that, have an array of things going on in their past, things, certain discretions, certain things that they've done. And ultimately, you got to learn to deal with all those people. It doesn't mean that everyone is friends with everyone in the locker room. That's certainly not the case. But you have to learn to go out there and play with your teammates. And I think that's going to be the mindset of the players in the locker room is, okay, Deshaun Watson's a part of our team. Can he help us win football games? If he can, then let's roll.
Yeah, that's the simple fact when it comes to professional sports. You don't have to like everybody in your team, but you can be cordial and go out there and win games. And if Deshaun Watson gives them the best opportunity to win, then they're going to take that. It's basically compartmentalizing certain things. I'll tell you the biggest stance it may have in a player's household, though. Like when his wife or a sister or a mother, they feel some type of way and they put that little pressure on them. I've seen things like that transpire in my 10 years of playing in the NFL where a wife may feel a certain way and talking to her husband, well, how can you go out there with him every day? But see, he has to sit his wife down and say, listen, sweetheart, there's a bottom line, and my job is to go out here and to perform at the best level that I can, along with my teammates. So it's just little dicey conversations, and we don't know if Deshaun Watson has already had those conversations with his teammates, but I do believe it is a conversation he has to have with everyone and not just certain people on that team.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.